Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome back to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. I am your host, Mike Kenobi. Joining me is, of course, the Mad Doc himself, Isaac Wolf. We have a special episode here, guys. We're talking Star Wars. And Isaac, I might be wrong, but I think the last time we talked Star Wars, it was The Rise of Skywalker, right?
Yes, that episode is up on Anchor, but I might put that one up on the YouTube channel. I don't know. That was
I,
was an in- that was an interesting episode to record, mate. Talking a lot
yeah,
like that, and mention Scotland and car keys, but that's a different story for another day.
yeah, I mean, we already had that story. So if you guys want to check out our review of The Rise of Skywalker, we'll make sure we get a Spotify link in the description of the YouTube video and in the pinned comment down there. But I think it's great because that was a very special episode. But this time, Star Wars kind of came to us in anime form, which is super exciting. We're covering Star Wars Visions on Disney Plus. 9 episodes, 7 anime studios came together with the Disney company and Lucasfilm to give us these fantastic short films, really, uh, giving us a new modern spin on Star Wars, which is very exciting. Um, Isaac, what's your experience with Star Wars? We know you love anime, but are you a big Star Wars guy?
You know me. Uh, I was a casual fan, sort of like since I was a kid. Then you know how it became with me and the sequel trilogy.
Mm.
I don't hate them, but the whole shit show behind it all and all that just made me burn out on Star Wars to the point that I haven't. The only thing I've seen is I don't know how many episodes it was of Mandalorian, and I'm just eh. But since this was an anime, I thought maybe this could be something for me to bounce back on. And while while I might not be like, oh, I'm gonna go back to Star Wars and marathoning Bad Batch and everything else, it's certainly the best thing I have seen since the original Clone Wars. I seen the OG series back in the day, and
The
it's
Clone Wars,
easily yeah, and
like
it's
the 2D
easily
animation one.
the 2D, the micro episode,
Gotcha.
or what it's called.
Gotcha. Yeah, this kind of feels like it's in a similar vein as the original uh Clone Wars in the sense that it's kind of these smaller stories, instead of like that
Yeah,
long overarching narrative that we got from the rest of the Star Wars shows. And
yeah,
I agree with you that it kind of feels like it's breathing new life into the Star Wars fandom, into the Star Wars community, and like just changing the aura around to the Star Wars brand in a way that I don't even think the Mandalorian was really able to do. As good as the show is, I feel like everything that happened with the prequels and then the sequels kind of just, like you said, burned a lot of people out, including myself. But Visions was fresh, it was new, it was something uh yeah, it was just something that's new to this table. And it's a cool way. It's non-canon, so you don't have to worry about existing lore or this connects to this. You just enjoy the story for what it is. And I honestly feel like that's the best thing they could have done by making these non-canon. They could just do whatever the heck they wanted. We had an episode where we were throwing a concert in front of Jabba the Hutt, man.
it's also
Without having
so
to.
it's also so weird because Star Wars has always been that everything is canon, and that's also one of the things that has kind of had me when it comes to Star Wars. It becomes too much.
Yeah, it Disney kind of adopted that MCU type of deal where everything has to connect. But once you get so far down the line, it becomes tiresome and it becomes detrimental, I feel like, to the IP.
It's even worse with Star Wars in this regard. I mean, and not every comic book is connected, or it's not thousand of thousand is an overstatement. Double-digit amounts of tie-in novels, Java, and all that. Yes, it's just like the MCU, but cranked on to 2000 almost. It feels like.
You're not wrong there. But we're going to start breaking these down episode by episode because, again, they are self-contained and unique and brought to us, again, by 7 different Japanese studios giving us their own spin on the Star Wars universe. We're going to start with episode 1, I guess we can cover, The Duel, right? That was made by, is it Kamikaze Douga?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we were talking off air before we started recording. You said that they're the company that's behind JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah,
right?
JoJo. Yeah, and that's it. Which we are covering, me and Brandon, hopefully next week.
Sweet.
But yes, that's them behind it, and I shall be honest, this was my favorite episode of them all.
Really? So it was all downhill from here for you, huh?
I wouldn't say downhill like it was a. It wasn't like how should I put it? I started to watch the What If, for example, and I owned the only episode I really enjoyed is the Captain Carter and the Doctor Strange one. Other than that, I am a.
But, yeah, What If is kind of the same as Visions, where since they're all kind of doing their own thing, you know, and sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't.
I think Star Wars Vision executed this idea of what if kind of thing much better than the What If did, because but the whole rock band trying to save friend, it was a cute one, but it didn't. Okay, let's stick to the episode. But the reason why I think the first one is the best one for me, at least.
Yep, the Duel.
That the Duel. It's that it stood out the most compared to the other episodes. While we haven't seen this in anime form, it's still there were still a lot of similarities between every other episode. This one felt the more unique, the more the more. While everyone had its own identity, this was the only one that truly had its own identity, so to speak, in my book, because it just you can to some extent see similarities in other episodes with each other, but not in this one. It was maybe it's the color grading and tone. It's color grading tone difference, and to some extent, what's it called? Pacing, so to speak, comparably.
Yeah, this episode specifically, like you said, it's the most different. The color grading, the animation style too. It's kind of got like this cell shading thing going on with it. Everything about this one, like you said, does feel unique, even compared to the other shorts that we get in the series. I really enjoyed this one too because it's this very simple premise, which works with the runtime. Some of the other ones probably feel a little rushed or crammed because they're only working with like 15 minutes most of the time, maybe 15 to 20 at most. What I love about the Duel, though, is that it's very simple and it's classic storytelling, right? Samurai comes to a village, The village is being attacked. He has to defend the village. It's a premise that we're used to, a premise that we know, but they just execute it to perfection.
It's also the one that truly develops into the idea of the samurai, if it was samurai lore, which is one of the prime inspiration that George Lucas has when he created the Jedi Order and the Sith and all that. Many I know that many don't realize that, but the way of the samurai is a lot is arguably the major influence for Star Wars, which is also another reason why I did enjoy it, perhaps that much.
Yeah, exactly, and it's kind of very full circle. It also, like you said, since samurai movies were an inspiration for Star Wars, it feels at home, right? It feels different, but it still feels like it exists in this world of Star Wars. And like you said, the color grading, the art style, the samurai, all of that just kind of comes together in a really well-rounded package. And I feel like, yeah, it's definitely one of the strongest ones. I don't know if it's my favorite one, but it's definitely one of my favorites out of all of them. I guess we can move on to episode 2, which is Tatooine Rhapsody. This is far and away completely different from the Duel.
Yeah,
right?
I wonder, is the title meant as a homage to Bohemian Rhapsody, perhaps?
Considering this is about a band, I can definitely see that. I definitely think 100% it is a reference to Bohemian Rhapsody.
That was the first thing I was thinking of when I saw the name. I mean, is this a homage, reference, pun, source to Queen? Question mark.
Yeah, so this one is done by Studio Colorido, and you've seen a movie they've done. You said it was Burn the Witch, right?
I have seen Burn the Witch. I have no. They are wait. Which studio was it now?
Studio Colorido.
Colorido. Let me put it up.
Yeah, but anyway, this episode
I think
is about
it was
a band
Colorido.
with big dreams, right?
Colorido is it's Burn the Witch, and it's not a movie. It's a TV short series, and it's a spin-off of the anime Bleach. There was a manga / anime Bleach that many probably know of here.
Which I feel I haven't seen Bleach, but I feel like it is completely opposite of the tone of this short.
Yeah, it is.
So this one is about a band who basically has to confront Jabba the Hutt, right? One of their band members is a Hutt, and he's going to be executed. For what reason? We kind of gloss over that. Again, it's only a 14-minute long short, but they decide to put on one more show to save their friend, or just have one more good time with each other, which I think is really touching and sweet. This is the first episode. I want to ask you, were you watching these in the sub or the dub?
I was actually watching it. Watching it in the dub this time, just that I could watch it, but also if it was something that happened, I could just hear it and just okay, they say that one and all that, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I could, if it something came up, I could just pause. Okay, I didn't miss that one, like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how I watch My Hero Academia. I get it. So this was the first episode where I turned on the subtitles. I turned on the sub, right? I changed the language to Japanese and everything, and it played so much better in Japanese because the song flowed better in Japanese. They dubbed the song too.
I can see that being the case, yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting, and I watched the rest of them in the dub, but I highly recommend you guys, if you have time or you want to, go back and check some of these out in Japanese with subtitles. I feel like it completely changes the experience, especially with this one. This one was very cute. I enjoyed it. Not nearly as dramatic as the Duel, which makes it a funny episode too. But I think I like this one overall. What about
Honestly,
you?
this was an episode that I could see this being like a, if they Disney wanted, they could make this to a kind of a kids cartoon, so to speak. Sure, it was about one of the Hutts being executed, but we have had other kids show that have gone to dark themes, so that wouldn't be a new thing.
Yeah, I don't know how much more they can push the story. It feels like it was very much made to be a one-off. But I get what you mean. If they wanted to make this like an animated special of like 40 minutes instead of the 14 or whatever minutes they had for this one, I could see that.
Yeah, because it just screamed it's a kid show style, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. And that's how I feel about the next episode. We're actually going to be covering 2 in this section because Studio Trigger made 2 episodes. So we're going to just cover both of theirs here. The twins, I feel like, could have gotten its own show. I don't know how you feel about that one. But 2 twins are born. Go ahead.
Isn't that Trigger? Or Production IG?
This twins one, as far as I know, is Studio Trigger.
Because the twins was Trigger, yeah, and that shows with how the animation is. If I'm being honest, that's just pure.
It looks very Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann. I know
it's that studio, yeah.
Yeah. So the twins is 2 twins born in the dark side of the Force. This is clearly set post episode 9, which is very interesting. I think it's interesting how the kids are born to bring balance, right? Bring order to the Force. They were born in the dark side. So the sister is inherently full of the dark side, but her brother is skewing more towards the light, which is again that kind of dichotomy in the Star Wars universe of balance, right? One is for the light side of the Force, one is for the dark side of the Force, and they just clash. And the entire episode is pretty much just one big anime battle, but I feel like it is beautiful.
That one is for certain, and it just proves that Studio Trigger knows how to handle insane an anime battle scene, so to speak. Have you seen Kill la Kill or Gurren Lagann? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those series aren't exactly normal in terms of executing their fight choreography and.
Yeah, and I can feel that influence throughout here. It almost feels like they were doing it on purpose. Like it just feels like it's Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann, which is amazing. And it's kind of fun how they're kind of referencing themselves within the Star Wars short. Again, though, it's beautifully animated. And it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, which I think is interesting. Maybe almost like a to be continued if there's ever another season of Visions. Did you get that sense?
Yeah, it was sort of like, but I do think I saw something about this. Lucas started being interested in continuing some of the wish and stuff.
Well, this is definitely one I wish that they would continue because I think it's set up to be an anime, honestly. Like you felt that way a little bit about Tatooine Rhapsody. I feel like Visions is one of the few here that are primed to just get a full, even if it's just 13 episodes. You can keep going with these 2 characters.
I'm not arguing with that at all. I don't know. It's just that if someone told me that the Tatooine episode was made as a test pilot for a kids show that they have hired that studio for, and I just saw it separately from everyone else, I would have believed believe you. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm. For sure. But again, Studio Trigger did 2 episodes. And the next one, I think, is a very cool kind of bookend with the twins. It's called The Elder. And this episode takes place before episode 1, if you didn't get that sense of time there. We're following 2 Jedi. They sense a disturbance in the Force, and they find this Elder, almost like a Sith Lord, on this planet that they end up having to confront. Again, great action scenes as always, but I do think it's interesting how the twins takes place at the end of the Star Wars timeline. This takes place near the beginning of the Star Wars timeline. And it's just continuing that theme of balance, right? Darkness and light.
Yeah.
And I think Studio Trigger really found what works with Star Wars and just kind of keyed into it with these 2 shorts.
Yeah, I can certainly agree with that. It just, to some extent, it feels. Yeah, I do wonder if they are going to make some of this canon. If I'm being honest, considering how popular this has all been.
I hate when they retroactively make something canon. So if they're sticking with it not being canon, it should just stay that way.
I mean, they said that they were going into that the EU is going to be non-canon, yet they have integrated stuff from EU and make those canon.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. One thing I enjoyed though about this Elder episode is, since it is the same studio, it could have very well been the same art style, but you can feel that there was a different director behind this one, and the art direction was just a little not quite as stylized as the twins, but they kind of just honed in on a different kind of slightly more realistic art style. Not nearly as crazy as the Duel though.
Which is kind of unusual for Trigger in my book.
Right?
I mean, Darling in the Franxx is the closest thing to a more quote-unquote realistic one. But even that series is batshit insane in some fashion. And it's also very horny, but that's another story for another time.
Yeah, we'll just park that story somewhere else for now. We'll come back to that another day. Episode 5 is The Village Bride. I'm not familiar with this studio. It's Kinema Citrus.
Kinema Citrus, give me a second.
Sure.
That's that's the studio behind Made in Abyss, The Rising of the Shield Hero, and let me see here if I've seen something else from them.
Yeah, one thing I do enjoy about Visions is that how we are highlighting these studios, some big, some smaller, and it, especially since at the front of the episode, it's giving you the studio that worked on the episode. I think that's a really nice touch, kind of giving them some more exposure to make you go back and check out some of their other work.
And I have also seen where is it? I think they were the ones that did. No, they're not the one that did that, but they have done. They Made in Abyss is a series that me and Brandon has covered, which is something I can highly recommend for people. It's about 2 kids needing to go deep down in the abyss to discover something, and it's plays almost like a video game to the point that you can question why it didn't get a video game earlier than it did. It's about to get a video game soon with its season 2 release, and I haven't seen Rise of the Shield Hero, but it's on my radar.
Nice. What were your thoughts on the Village Bride? This is kind of, it's not quite like the Duel, but it's almost got that samurai, wandering samurai has to protect a village type of vibe.
It's funny because that one was my second favorite.
I love this one too. It was probably my favorite. It was probably my favorite until we got to episode 5, which we'll cover in a minute. But yeah, it's phenomenal.
It's it goes back to what we said about the Duel. It's all about the whole. It's a lot to do with the whole the samurai-esque stuff, and which they delve into, which I thoroughly enjoy, and all that jazz, and which I just appreciate how they allow it. They have allowed the studio to truly tap into the biggest influence of the entire franchise, and that's something I do enjoy.
Yeah, it feels like this is the first time in a long time, probably since The Force Awakens, where it feels like they have full creative freedom to do whatever they want because it's non-canon. And so they are just telling these really fun and unique stories. Because, like, even though the simple premise of the Village Bride and the Duel are similar, they go about it in completely different ways. And I think those two episodes highlight why Visions works so well. Because, again, same general idea, but just taken in completely different directions.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe that's why I prefer those two, because sure, it reminds me a lot more about them all. Maybe it's because of the art style and animation, it's more similar to the other ones, but it's still different comparably. And the other ones, beside maybe Twins, consider it's Studio Trigger, and Trigger it's Trigger on insanity, so to speak. They all felt like something to some extent that you could see Disney ordering for Disney Plus as a specific series.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So we're going to move on to episode 5. This is what everybody has been saying is their favorite episode. I still don't know what my favorite episode is, but this is near the top. It's called The Ninth Jedi by Production IG. And this is the longest episode in Visions, which I feel like allows it to tell a more cohesive story. It's a full-on episode, 23 minutes in runtime.
And you should know Production IG by now.
Yes, they are the studio behind Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. And
not only that, if you look at it, or if I miss Production IG.
While you find that, I'm just going to break down the premise of this one right quick.
Yeah.
The daughter of a lightsaber smith is pursued by dark forces while on a dangerous mission. I like this episode because we have it's since it's got the longer runtime, we get to have twists and turns, and they can kind of subvert your expectations of what's actually happening. This one is, again, set, I believe, after episode 9. So we're trying to rebuild the Jedi Order after the fall of the First Order. And so that's a really cool idea. And this is another one I can see existing in canon. Having this girl and her father trying to rebuild the Jedi Order, and then they kind of fall into a trap with a bunch of Sith Lords, and then the remaining Jedi have to try and fight their way out of it. I just thought it was a fantastic episode, and I honestly really want to see more from this side of the universe.
Honestly, while it's good content, I'm not gonna deny that. It was just it just didn't stand out to me.
I think I know why, if I might add something there.
Go on.
It's the most Star Wars feeling out of all of the shorts, which is probably why most people could see it existing in Star Wars canon. It feels like Star Wars in the way that some of these other ones don't. And I think for someone like you who's been burnt out on Star Wars, you don't care about stuff like that, honestly.
Yeah, and now I know why Production IG sounded familiar for me.
Yeah.
And I was about right about it. That's the studio behind the Fooly Cooly, or should I say one of them.
Yes, they are.
And you're doing a reaction series on that on your channel. Everyone should go check that one out.
Oh yeah, thanks guys. Fooly Cooly is balls to the wall, insane, and they didn't really tap into anything from Fooly Cooly art wise or stylistic wise in this one, which is probably why I didn't even think of it right at first when you mentioned it. But that just shows how diverse the studio is and how they can bring so many different things to the table.
Then again,
though,
Fooly Cooly was a co-production with Gainax, and Gainax isn't exactly known for being sane either. So they're doing the Gurren Lagann series and Neon Genesis Evangelion, and God, I hate that the latter series.
That's rough, buddy.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, you are probably right about that. It feels like the most Star Wars C episode of them all, and I'm just.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get that. That's kind of how I feel on episode 6, which is TOB1. Very Astro Boy esque as far as style goes for that one. That one's done by Science SARU. Are you familiar with their work at all?
Science SARU. That's one. Yeah, fuck the Devilman Crybaby, and fuck that show. That can go. Put a hot iron bar in the asshole, as far as I can concern.
Jeez, dang man. On a lighter note, did you at least enjoy this like Astro Boy episode?
Yeah, that one was cute. To some extent, that one was cute. It's just I have a burning passion about that series, but that's a different thing.
So this one is a cybernetic boy who dreams of becoming a Jedi. I think this is also interesting of thinking of it basically an android Jedi, which is crazy. I mean, besides General Grievous, we don't really see anything like that, right?
Yeah, and Grievous, he wasn't exactly another thing. He wasn't exactly the most powerful one compared to many. I would argue that Darth Maul is stronger than him in some sense, even though he is known for being a punching bag.
Yeah. This one was cute. It's probably my least favorite of all of them, but I did enjoy it for what it was. Not all of them have to be groundbreaking, you know. It was a fun time.
Yeah, agreed.
They also did the 9th episode, so we can just cover that one here. Akakiri, which is a Jedi returning for his forbidden love to help defend her kingdom from a Sith-like shogun. So, these 2 episodes are not like the twins and the elder. There's no connection or through line that's kind of flowing between the two. However, I think they're both unique and show different sides of the studio that made them. You have this really cute one, you have this more serious and dramatic one. What were your thoughts on the final episode of Visions? That was episode 9.
Honestly, I did enjoy it. Yes, I think it's more shows that I like the more distinct ones in comparison, unlike others that likes the more that feels like the more how should I put it, the more Star Wars-y stuff. Here and I sitting and prefer the more audible ones in comparison.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has more similarities than the other ones, but I dare argue it's my 3rd favorite, maybe.
Yeah. This one didn't do it for me. I'm going to be real. I didn't care. I didn't care about it that much. Maybe on a rewatch, maybe in the sub. There's other variables that can make me have second thoughts about it. But on first watch, I just didn't have much to say on that one, honestly.
Yeah, but like I said, I connect more with the more connected more with the whole weirder stuff with the visions, I suppose.
Speaking of things that are a little different, episode 8 is the last one we haven't talked about, and that is Lop and Ocho by Geno Studio. So this one is very interesting to me. It's one of the longer ones at coming in at 21 minutes. And I think, again, that plays really well with the story that's happening here. A family is torn apart by the Empire because one daughter feels that they should give in to the power of the Empire to keep their resources and make their planet thrive, whereas her father feels the need to fight back against the Empire because they don't need their help and blah, blah, blah. Empire's evil. What were your thoughts on this one, Lop and Ocho?
So similar to the other ones. The further they go to traditional Star Wars, to some extent, the more I like it, apparently. And while this is closer to more traditional Star Wars than the other one, I did enjoy it, but it's not because it was not traditional Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I might sound like I'm on a broken record or something, but it is. I liked it. It's not. I can't. I don't know much more to say than that, and I did. And although that is something I could see them having, you can set in more. I don't know if I should say in modern setting, but you can set it in a casual setting as well. If that makes any sense, the casual Star Wars setting.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. I didn't expect to enjoy this one, honestly. Like when the episode started, I wasn't really feeling it, but like after 5 minutes or so, I was like really invested in what was happening with all of these characters. And this is another one I feel like they can continue this story in another episode or two. Maybe not a full series order, but I feel like that they can return to this world, which I wonder if the studios kind of did that on purpose with a lot of these episodes because they're like, hey, give us a call if you want to do Vision season 2. But yeah, like I get what you mean by the more they kind of stray away from the beaten path of Star Wars, the more interesting it is, especially in a series that's made by Japanese studios and bringing in all these different artists and different voices in the creative process. It's creating something unique, but that's exactly why we like anime, right? And so I think that the marriage of anime and Star Wars is just perfect, honestly.
Yeah, and maybe that's why, like I said, I don't know much more to say, honestly, in this regard.
So you said your favorite episode was the Duel. What was your least favorite that you can think of?
Let me go through the list again just to double check.
Sure. Again, episode 1 is the Duel, 2 is Tatooine Rhapsody, 3 is the Twins, 4 is the Village Bride, 5 is the Ninth Jedi, 6 is TOB1, 7 is the Elder, 8 is Lop and Ocho, and 9 is Akakiri.
I'm gonna be lynched right now. I know that, but it's probably the Ninth Jedi.
Damn, fam.
I can just see the people typing in the comment section about how you're not a real Star Wars fan because you're the. Like I said, if you know, listen to this episode, you know why I prefer the other ones. And this is a podcast that I talk about my own opinion. So
you're good. You're wrong, but you're good.
And you wouldn't if there is something I told myself it's to not sugarcoat something and don't you say as it stands. You know and that I can be blunt at times, even though I wouldn't say I was blunt now.
I mean, you could have lit into it like you did The Promised Neverland or Sword Art Online. So you were very tame this time, my friend. Very tame.
Yeah. Although I called the studio that made episode 6 and 9 that they should stop that series should stop hot iron barn up their ass, but that's a different thing.
Yeah, that was a bit much. My least favorite was TOB1. I'll just leave it there. Not nearly as controversial as Isak. I guess as we kind of wrap this conversation up, we enjoyed just about all of these for what they're worth. What do you want to see in a hypothetical Visions season 2?
I want them to get other studios involved that didn't do this. Like Studio Bones, for example. Or
nope, we don't want Studio Bones here because we don't want them to cut corners on My Hero.
Okay, maybe not Studio Bones, but Mappa and just give it to other studios that wasn't involved here and see their take on Star Wars.
Dude, a Mappa episode would be the greatest thing Star Wars has ever made.
No I would kidding. Say Madhouse if they were. Would I say Madhouse if they were not something? No, I can't speak. Shell of their former selves, because Madhouse in their prime was fantastic. Maybe what's the studio that makes Dragon Ball?
You'd know better than I would, but yeah, the studio that does Dragon Ball. Cool.
And this might sound weird. But I would like to see Studio Ghibli do one.
Yes. I can't believe that they didn't get Studio Ghibli do one this season. I'm with you. I think all of those would be really cool.
Toei Animation. That's the one I thought about when I thought of Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, cool. That'd be exciting, honestly. As far as studios, I think you named some really good ones, so I don't have much to add on that front. But I think, give me a slice of life episode. You know, not everything has to be action heavy, especially in a second season. I know that every studio in this season probably wanted to put their stamp, right, their definitive entry into the Star Wars universe. But I think a slice of life anime in the Star Wars universe might be kind of interesting.
That would that's something that Ghibli would be perfect for,
right?
And another studio that would be interesting to see would be a studio of a table of foot. I can't UFOTable, the ones behind Demon Slayer, or one. The one behind Jujutsu Kaisen, which is what's it called? And that's Map also. So, no, but yeah, over table, the Demon Slayer.
The Demon Slayer folks got it.
Yeah, that would also be quite interesting.
But yeah, for sure, definitely. I think, again, Star Wars Visions season 1 at least is fantastic. If you guys haven't checked them out, go and do it. Go watch all of them. They're at most 23 minutes long. They're as short as 13 minutes long. So take time throughout your day and just watch one or two here or there. You'd be glad you did. Whether you like Star Wars or don't, or if you like anime or don't, I feel like it's the perfect bridge between the two, where if you like at least one of them, you're going to find something to enjoy in Star Wars Visions.
Yeah.
Isaac, did you have anything else you wanted to cover regarding Star Wars Visions before we wrap this one up?
Yeah, nothing more than I said. Say that I'm glad that I watched that.
I'm glad you
I
did
was
too,
a bit,
man. I know how you feel about Star Wars.
and I know that people say that I should start watching Bad Batch and follow all the spin-off series on. I'm just no, I don't have time.
Yeah, but this was a fun ride. I'm glad we were able to cover this one too. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, again, check out our review of the Rise of Skywalker. We did that one with Brandon, and I believe Landon joined us for that one as well, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that was a few years ago, so we'll link it down below for you.
That one was an interesting episode because I did a lot of ranting during that episode.
That was a time, so highly recommend you guys check that out. If you want more from the Amateur Otaku, make sure you subscribe. Check us out on Twitter at Amateur Otaku Pod. You can find Isaac at Emblemaniac, myself at Novice Cinephile. We'll catch you next time. As always,
Have it awesome. Bye.
Have it awesome, and may the Force be with you.
With you.